In the first part of freelancing for students, I shared the skills that you can learn to start freelancing and how to build your portfolio. Now that both of those are done, you can start earning, right? Well, it's not that simple. Where do you even find the work? And how do you price that having not worked anywhere? So in this video, I'm breaking down just that in the way that actually worked for me. And in the next part, I'm gonna go over how to manage your time as a student and a freelancer and the necessary boundaries you need to have that will make your freelance journey a lot easier. This is part 2 of my freelancing guide for students. Let's roll. Let me clear one thing first. If you've tried platforms like Intershala, Upwork, Fiverr and nothing worked, then you're not alone because they did not work for me either. And for a lot of beginners, it doesn't. They're overcrowded, they are highly competitive and can really mess with your confidence when you keep applying and don't hear anything back. That doesn't mean freelancing isn't for you. You just need to try a different approach. To be honest, getting work is not just applying to job roles. You have to consistently show up there. You have to build your online presence, display your work, build your credibility. So some credible platforms where I actually found work are, first of all, LinkedIn. LinkedIn was a big turning point for me because I started showing up with what I do. I made posts about what I do, my progress, my mistakes, things I've learned, and even ranting about my software problems. To connect with more and more editors. See, the game is simple. You start posting, people stumble upon your post, you start making connections. Those connections can lead you down to two roads. One, where they themselves might be hiring. Say you connected with someone who's in a position to recruit talent, like an HR or an HR intern. They either might just reach out to you on their own, or if they've made a hiring post, that will reach you faster than non-connections. Or they'll push the hiring post by tagging you there or simply by commenting, so it reaches you again faster than non-connections. Honestly, I'm not the most active on LinkedIn, but I'm actively trying to fix that. This is so important to be on there, and I can go on and on about the importance of being present and active on LinkedIn no matter what year you're in, but maybe that will be another video. But seriously though, people underestimate how many founders, creators, recruiters are actively scrolling LinkedIn looking for people like you. One post can do so much more for you than 50 applications can. Another thing that really worked for me was WhatsApp groups. There are WhatsApp groups where people post real-time requirements for video editors, content writers, social media managers, graphic designers, creators, literally everything. These vary from like polished job applications to just an immediate need. Now, navigating through these can be tricky, it can be scary and maybe even overwhelming, but you won't get the hang of anything unless you try. I've actually reached out for these postings and some did not work, some ghosted, but some did actually work. And it's like a loop. Once you join one group, you'll find more and more groups, you'll be added to more groups, and you will soon find yourself in a community of people in the same work industry as you, and that is where you can have real-time conversations, like genuine conversations about the work industry, standard practices, all of that. So essentially, you'll have a platform to talk to people who are in the same work line as you, and you can actually have a one-to-one conversation, or I don't know, like 1-to-101 conversation about any doubts you might have. So I've seen so many conversations about this happening, about devices, fonts, editing softwares, what are the market trends. I have seen a lot of these conversations happening, and also this is great to get genuine feedback before you share anything to your clients. There's always a creative block, no matter what field you're in. Like if you want to do writing or whatever, there's always a creative block. So people can help you stimulate that, get over it in those groups. So the question does come, like, how do you even join these groups? Mainly, there are these groups made on LinkedIn. People, honestly, every day I come across at least one post of somebody on LinkedIn making a group for editors, graphic designers, copywriters, everything. From like everything, it will be either a whole community where there are multiple groups dedicated to like graphic design, video editing, all that. So it does circle back to LinkedIn. But yeah, once you comment on a post like that, you'll keep getting more and more posts, and if it aligns with you, just go ahead and join that group. Okay, now comes something a little bit scary, which is cold emailing and cold DMing people. But the crux of it is very simple. If there's a brand or a company or a creator that you really like watching and you feel like you would be a good fit for them for whatever need they might have, if they need an editor, if they need a designer, just reach out. And actually, a lot of editors have reached out to me based off of my YouTube channel. They see I am a growing YouTuber who could definitely use the help of a video editor or a graphic designer or a social media manager. And I've received these emails from my viewers and other editors who just stumbled upon my channel. And I think that's a great thing because you see an opportunity right there. Why not just grab it? You don't need a super long, lengthy email or anything like that. Just a straightforward, precise email about who you are, what you do, how you could benefit them. That's it. That's all you need to include. Yes, not everybody will reply. Maybe most of them might not reply, but that one person who does reply though might just be enough. And if you do this though, please research the creator or the company that you're reaching out to, because it will reflect in your email and it will reflect if you go further for like interviews and all that. I cannot emphasize the next one, which is personal branding. This is literally the key. Having skills is good, but it's the first step. How do you make yourself stand out from the people who are doing the same things as you, who have the same skill set as you? This is where building your online presence comes through. And some people think that this is something super difficult. Like, what do you mean I have to make my own brand? How do I do that? Like, how do I make a presence of mine? It's not that complicated. So other than having a portfolio, take up social media, for example Instagram, for example YouTube. Post your work there, post the projects you've worked on there. I follow so many editors, they post their work and it is crazy because you'll see in the comments people are trying to get a hold of that person because algorithm is crazy. Anything can go crazy anytime. For example, post a story, so the raw clip that you had versus what you turned it into. I have made one of this. So this is how you show your progress. This is the reel I recently worked on, or this is the campaign that I recently worked on, or this is the brand that I recently designed for. It could be a made-up brand. We've talked about this in my part 1 that you don't really need actual clients to start showing your work. Take the stuff that you post on your portfolio, post it on social media apps to build your presence there, because people will see that work maybe even faster before they see your portfolio. On YouTube, you might even do like long form videos. I've seen so many of these where they do a detailed like how I designed this, how I designed a marketing campaign or their social media feed for this brand. It could be a genuine brand or it could be a made up brand. They're just showing you their skills, their thought process, and this could come in very handy. It all compounds over time. Keep that in mind. Now, the last source of finding work is building a personal network. This would come after you've worked on like a project or two at least. So essentially, your real life connections that you've built, friends, college connections, or the people you've worked for. So the game here is word of mouth and recommendation from client testimonials. Once you do good work for one person, referrals start happening. And that's when freelancing gets a little bit easier because the credibility is added there that this person did great work for my friend. So your chances of getting hired just automatically goes up a bit more, quite a bit more. And that's actually what happened with me. I used to edit for a YouTuber who actually recommended me to an editing agency where I started working part-time because of her referral. And that's how it can work out for you as well. The bottom line for this part is to maintain healthy and good relations with your clients. Even if you stop working for them, as long as you maintain that professional relationship, why wouldn't you be referred? Pricing is where most people panic because you don't want to charge too high and scare people away, but you also don't want to just work for free and for nothing. Now, the truth is, I cannot give you the exact price you should charge because it just depends on so many variables that revolve around the work you're supposed to do. But what I can help you with is the thought process that you should have while you are deciding the prices to charge. And the number one thing is that you are not only charging for the work, you are charging for the time you're putting into it, the extra efforts that are going into it, and the value that goes into your work. This is not just about the outcome. It is about all the factors that go in. As a beginner, it's okay to start on a lower rate. But what's not okay is to work for free again and again. Honestly, just max do like 2 projects for free, not a monthly contract or something. Just one design or just one video edited. Just so you understand what process there is to the work you're doing. The back and forth, the time that you're putting in, the effort that is going in, brainstorming that you have to do other than whatever has been provided to you by the client. And when you actually get onto doing it, that is when you understand that how much I deserve more for this. So please do not fall for those like 3 to 6 month internships where all you get is exposure and a letter of recommendation. That is the biggest joke I have truly ever seen. No matter how great the company might be, unless it's like the biggest of the big, that's one thing. But realistically, if it's the biggest of the big, they can give you at least some money for the 3 to 6 months you're gonna spend working there. Because trust me, at these internships, especially at these internships, you would anyways be doing the job of a full-time employee. Trust me. So don't do it for free, because that's what you'll feel like कि company भी अच्छी है, काम भी easy लग रहा है, तो like 3 महीने हैं, we'll do it, but 10 दिन में आपको समझ आ जाएगा कि this is unfair, peak unfair. Now, what should you do before you quote a price, before you even decide on how much you want to charge? Because the one thing you can do is go back and forth with ChatGPT or just AI. Honestly, if you feel like there is no credible person you can reach out to get an idea, you've not joined any groups so far, honestly go to ChatGPT, go to Claude, and you can get a better idea there, because that's what I've done as well. I did have Pratham to go to because he had more experience working, because he's done editing jobs, he's done designing jobs as well. So I did have him, but at the same time I did also do some back and forth with ChatGPT to understand how much I should be charging for the deliverables asked. But it's not just about the deliverables that you need to know of. The scope of work as a whole that you need is, of course, how many deliverables will be expected. Now this could be in a week or in a month. Again, it differs, to be honest. So ask them like how many videos will I have to edit in a month, or how many graphics will be putting out in a week, what will be the working hours, and if you work beyond those hours, what would be the compensation then? Like, what are the exact expectations and requirements of the role that you're signing up for? That's very important to know, because like this has happened with me. I started working somewhere, and I kid you not, the moment I agreed to working, like I didn't sign a contract, but just we got to the agreement that I'm gonna start working there, from the very next day the expectation changed, the work roles changed, everything just changed. And of course I dropped out of that, because who does that? But that's what you don't want to experience, because that's the ugly side of it, to be honest. That's genuinely the ugly side of it. And if someone's trying to act vague and dodge these questions, which are very basic questions by the way, but if they don't want to answer that, and they're like, you'll get to know that after you sign up with us to work, don't. Because you will also be asked for like your experience of work, and some people will try to, actually a lot of people will try to lowball you, and they will counter question you that, you know, you're just a fresher, you don't need to know these many details, or they might just not answer those questions. Again, might leave you unseen, they might just ghost you. But I would just consider that a bullet that you dodged. And also, when you do eventually quote your price, you might again get ghosted, because the client was expecting a lower price because you're a beginner or a student or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that your price was wrong. It's just that the client had different expectations, and I think it's the best that you didn't match those expectations, because again, we don't want to work for too low, because it gets hectic. Trust me, when you start working and getting on these projects, it gets hectic. Look, I'm not gonna lie, but the job market is really bad right now. There are so many scams happening. They look super legit. They have a social media presence. So like if you want to do background checks, आपका background check गलत नहीं आएगा, but you will still be scammed, and that's happened with so many people. They get the projects done, they never receive the payment. There's not a lot you can do about that. So no matter वो कितनी बड़ी agency हो, company हो, brand हो या creator हो, वो ठग लेंगे आपको. So standing up for yourself is very, very important. And again, if you do not have somebody to talk to about these things, if you've not joined a WhatsApp group yet or a community yet, or you don't know people who work in the same line, please go to ChatGPT, discuss these rates, because ऐसा नहीं है that it's not gonna suggest you the right thing. Okay? It will. It's just that you need to have the answers to the questions that I just told you, like deliverables कितना होगा, महीने में कितना time है, and consider your added responsibilities of being a student. अगर आपका आधा दिन कॉलेज में जा रहा है ना, आप आधा दिन ही काम पे दे सकते हो, तो that's an important factor to add as well, you know. So अगर आप ChatGPT से भी डिस्कस करने जा रहे हो, like what should I quote for this, मेरा इतना एक्सपीरियंस है, मुझे इतने सॉफ्टवेयर्स आते हैं, इसमें इतनी रिक्वायरमेंट है, एंड मैं दिन के इतने घंटे दे सकती हूँ इस काम को, तो how much should I be charging here? This is the final outcome that they are expecting. And I would always also suggest that even if you get to your decided price, please be open to discussion. So you want to have like two prices in your head. एक है कि bare minimum price, like absolute bare minimum, कि इसके नीचे आप नहीं जाओगे, and एक है standard price, कि you should be getting the standard price, but if they want to negotiate it, do not go lower than the basic bare minimum price of it. Okay? And खुद को confusion से बचाने के लिए, just so आपको बार ना सोचना पड़े what do I charge now, make a rate card. You can keep it for yourself just so you can reference to it, because again, with different clients you charge differently. By the way, for different clients you charge different, not super different, but it's just the work, the level, all that, it of course matters. But you can have a rate card for clients as well, so you can just share the rate card as it is, that this is my rate card and I'm open to discussion, open to negotiate it. And yeah, that's that. If there is anything that you feel like I might have not covered and have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And I hope this was helpful. This is all coming from my personal experience, my personal learnings, and I'm just trying to help as many people as I can in this freelancing journey. Stay tuned for the next part of the video. It'll be out soon, I promise. But yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.